Welcome into Foul Check.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is going to air. Okay, technically. Happy Friday. It's Friday morning, y'all. You're driving to work.
Happy day. How about that?
Happy day.
Happy day.
Don't know what day of the week it is.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. You know, we're making it, and top of the year, so everything is not like so fast paced, but it's at a good pace. Like,
yeah,
it's like, all right, manageable pace. So
for sure.
Yeah, a couple of big storylines here or there. Of course, First and 10 Trophy Tour is all, kicked off. So
truly,
boom, we'll be in your community, in and around your neck of the woods. So yeah, it's a good time right now.
You doing okay after the Commanders?
Yeah, I'm doing great because, like I mentioned to you in the car, I'm not emotionally attached anymore. So, which is like one of the greatest things ever. But it was saddening to see, like, still the Cowboys fans chirping like they had been there last year and like they've been to the Super Bowl 4 or 5 years in a row. Pump the brakes, all right, get to where we got to first, and then you can proceed to talk. So, but no, I'm not bitter. Like, it's like, not truthfully, I'm not bitter. I can't do anything but clap. So that was great.
Yeah, well, I cry constantly. So
okay,
yeah.
I mean, I think it looked like, I don't know, Jaden. You think he cried a little bit?
I saw Zach Ertz cry.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
former Eagle. Like,
I don't know if Jaden cried. There's nothing wrong with it if he did.
No, I feel like he did. Like,
probably out of frustration that like there was he couldn't do more.
Yeah, and I feel like that was the first time I heard him use a couple curse words.
He was very upset post game.
Yeah,
very upset.
Well, and then too, you got to think about, like, he didn't even get to finish the game.
Yeah.
Because, it was no point in him finishing, honestly. So it's like, that whole aspect. But they'll be okay. They'll be fine. I'm not that type to say they'll be there next year because it's going to be a different team. But, they'll work hard.
It better not be.
They'll work hard.
Well, if one thing is for sure, Dan Quinn was the right hire because I know a lot of people were scratching their heads going, really? Mm-hmm. From the Cowboys? Mm-hmm. And Jaden Daniels is QB1.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
yeah, he's a guy.
The rest is going to fall into place. And I do love Dan Quinn, though. I saw the cutest, speaking of crying, the cutest video of him running the stadium stairs in Philly. Mm-hmm. And then he sits down at the top of the stairs and takes, oh my God, I'm going to cry again.
Oh no!
He takes his phone out and like takes a picture of like the view from the top of the stands. Yeah. It was so cute.
Oh my God! Oh, okay. I don't have any tissues. I got tissue paper. But they do it for a cause though. It's really cool. I think they do it for a former coach, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, but it was just so precious.
Stairs,
it was like when the kicker for. Oh gosh, what team was that?
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh. But the college kicker and his dad is the chiropractor and he was in the stands taking a video of his son.
Oh, yes,
kicking the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was so sweet. Cool. Oh my gosh, I love moments like that. Because at the end of the day, we're all just people with phones,
At the end of the day, yeah.
Except now we all have droids.
Okay, let's not do this. Let's not. Hey, it's pretty cool to me, but yeah.
There's nothing cool about a droid. Sorry to my Android listeners. Name one thing.
The Fold.
Okay. If that Fold thing works in a month of active use, call me.
Okay.
I just don't see that happening.
But you gotta answer your phone if I call.
No, I'm definitely. If you're calling my work phone, I will simply not be answering.
No, you will be answering. No, you'll answer.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but look, you're talking to somebody that used to have nothing but Droid years ago. So I've only been on an iPhone kick for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years.
iPhone's
like that.
elite.
So, I mean, more user friendly. I'll give you that. Yeah.
And the pictures are better.
I don't know about that part.
I did a head-to-head with our engineer, Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took one on my droid and one on my iPhone, and I put them together, and I'm like, which one is better? And the droid made me look super washed out, and it was pixely, like almost blurry.
I will say there is a, I guess, kind of weird feature. It does kind of make me look a little bit more pale or lighter.
No, that's what Mark said. And then he deleted the picture off my phone.
Wow.
Because I went to go show Kelly and it wasn't there, and I was like, "Oh, I guess Mark deleted it."
Yeah, that's a no go. Yeah, he wants no part in that. But
no, I'm not a droid person.
That's okay.
iPhone for life.
We should have asked our guest if she was a Droid person. I'm not sure.
She's an iPhone.
Oh,
yeah, because her texts were blue.
Blue bubbles. Okay, yay.
That is honestly the biggest bane of being friends with Android users is their texts are green. But now with the new update, I can see if they read my text, which I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that was the biggest thing with the green text.
That's the only thing.
You couldn't see if they read it or not.
Yeah,
but like now I can see you read it. So.
Oh, that's so nerve wracking. Don't worry about if I saw it. Just yeah.
I have my read receipts on. I'm honest.
Oh, sure.
My read receipts stay on. Like I don't care. You can. I mean, but also I answer people.
Of course.
But yeah, 9 times out of 10, you text me. If I didn't answer and I read it,
ooh,
there's a reason.
So left on red.
Left on red,
Like,
but I don't do that often
truthfully.
because I have anxiety.
Okay.
Anyways, anything else new?
No, I don't think so. Our guest, she used to give people anxiety on the court.
Period. That's a good way to put it. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So our guest today is Ataijah Tay Taylor. Somebody who we're the same age, but I don't remember seeing her play basketball, but you do.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was amazing. It was like, especially seeing what William Fleming was like back then. And then, like, she wasn't the only person on Salem squad, as she mentioned. But also, as she mentioned, a lot of the players she played with, they weren't true basketball players. They were volleyball first, softball first, or whatever, track first. And then it was her, the basketball player. Like, that's all she did. So, when I say there were some epic battles, like, there were epic battles on the court. And seeing just how she could, like, try and dominate a game. And, she truly left it all out on the court. So, you could probably tell I was,
You're a little geeking, a little bit, fangirling.
Yeah, just a little bit. I was like, oh, man. She's here.
Cool.
She's here.
She's here.
In the flesh. No, but no, she's kind of, she's just always been great. She's always
so nice. Yeah, honestly, that's probably how I would feel about Andrew Rousey. Do you remember him?
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
My brother played basketball, so I went to a lot of boys basketball games in high school, and Andrew Rousey was like the guy.
Yep.
Rockbridge County alum was in the. Did he ever make it to the league? He had a great college season. I think he went to Marquette.
Yeah, I remember him at Marquette. I don't know if he ever got to the league though. Maybe,
that's all right. I think when LB played him, like me might have dogged him too bad. He has me blocked on like everything.
Still to this day.
I actually haven't looked. Should I look right now?
No, don't hurt your feelings right now.
It's all good. But I remember that guy. Like, you want to talk about being in high school and like seeing someone like truly ball. Yeah, he was so good from our area too, which was sick.
No, that was great. But
he did not go to the NBA, and he played. His last stop was he was in the G League.
Okay, I thought he was, but I wasn't sure.
He was in the G League, and he played at UNC Asheville. That's where he went originally, and then to Marquette. Like, I'll just check while I'm Googling him if I'm still blocked. Andrew,
you don't want to hurt you don't want to hurt your own feelings, do you? Just okay.
I think he just deleted Instagram.
Oh yeah. That's what they all say.
It's not a big deal. Because there was a time when Rockbridge and Botetourt were in the same district, and we definitely terrorized the kid,
which made sense.
But that's what high schoolers do. So Andrew, if you're listening, I am sorry.
Supposedly. Oh no. No, but Tay Taylor, great person, great ball player. Now, of course, a great mom, a great coach. And
so nice.
Yeah, just love stories like that.
So incredibly
nice. Just seeing stuff come full circle for people is just talk about crying. I'll get to crying.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the interview before Eric tears up.
Yeah, we won't see that.
Here is a Salem High School legend, Wake Forest, just amazing basketball player, Ataijah Tay Taylor.
Welcome back to the Foul Check Podcast. We are excited and delighted to have one of the greatest, I feel like, that has touched the high school basketball floor on the girls' side of things. We got to give love to the ladies. I always do it on the Sportscast, but the one and only Ataijah Tay Taylor. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed.
Appreciate that.
So excited to have you come on. First off, we know this has been exciting past few months for you personally.
Sure.
Just had your jersey retired at Salem High School a few weeks back. What was that moment like? Just stepping back into that place where you used to wreak havoc, just years ago.
It was surreal. I mean, it always gives you a little bit of, I'm walking into my gym. Like this is my gym. This is where I show what I could do on the floor. So showing up and being on the opposing side, it's like, okay, let's go. Like we got a little fire up under us. But that moment itself was just surreal. I mean, it was just one of those things that you see other people getting it, back in the day, Troy Daniels, people like that.
Yeah.
And you see it and you're like, oh, that's dope. Like, I would love to, do that, have that happen for me. Or Woody Dean's court being named, like, oh, Tay Taylor court, that's cool, So when it happened for me, it was just kind of one of those things that was like, okay, check.
Yeah, absolutely. Do your girls, because of course you're assist over at Patrick Henry High School right now, I should say that, with the girls program. Sure. They realize or recognize like who you are, what you did, or are they of that age like, I don't know, but she's just the assistant coach?
So I don't know. It's at that funny limbo stage where like Jada, for instance, was watching me play when she was younger, and some of the girls would come for like rec night and stuff like that. Sure. But I think they heard about me, and like Blue would say like she's the GOAT or something. I'm kind of humble, so like I'm like,
you're older. I get it.
So like I think once they saw me get my jersey retired, and then they heard like my stats and stuff there, they were like, oh, okay, like we do kind of, and they gravitate towards me anyway. But I think they do kind of like realize that, okay, she might be her.
She might be her. The stats is the wake-up call, though, because they're probably like, oh, we're not even close to that. That just shows how good she is. Yeah. I mean, you had an amazing high school career.
Thank you.
Over 1,600 points. Yeah. Only girls basketball state title that Salem has had. Yep. How much do you think your time playing at such a high level translates to coaching and coaching these girls at Patrick Henry?
Well, they always say like it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert, and I've probably put in that or double, triple that just from like all the work that we've put in. So I really know it like the back of my hand, like, and I'll just start talking and I'll be like, da da da, you got a back cut or screen, and I'm like, okay, wait, let me cut it back, let me slow it down, and be like, okay, because there's just so much knowledge in my head, and sometimes I'm just like, all right, I got to give this to as many people as possible because there's just so much in my head. So
I guess we kind of dumb it down, so to speak, a lot for TV because we can't talk in the sports talk. But yeah, I can't imagine having all that knowledge you have from high school and college time at Wake Forest and trying to like condense it into something that high schoolers can absorb. And
I think that's one of the things that I'm kind of good at is being able to kind of break it down and bring it to the level. And if I notice that it's too much, I'm gonna be like, all right, let's slow it down. Let's go no defense and let's just do half of it and break it down for like 2-on-0, which is like 2 offensive persons, no defense, things like that, and just really get them to understand the fundamentals. Because if you can fall back on that when you're exhausted, then that's the best way to be able to play. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to approach it. I would say it works.
Take me back a little bit to when you were deciding for college. What made Wake Forest home? Because I feel like it was more than just all on the court. Because you came out of there in 3 years, which means you kind of
a genius. Really a genius.
Right?
Well, we can attach some of that to the summer school because we go in the July before. I think I did 2 summer school sessions 1 year, so I was there all June and half of July, and then I went for the last week of July and all of August before the semester started.
Wow!
And that's what really like helped me get to be able to graduate early. But yeah, I mean it's a test to hard work and putting everything together to get to a common goal. So.
You made it work.
Yeah, you really did. No, graduating from Wake in 3 years is nuts. Yeah. Well, let's get into talking about high school girls basketball. You are our expert today as an assistant coach at Patrick Henry. How did you, one more question about yourself. How did you know you kind of wanted to give back in that way in kind of a thankless job of coaching, high school coaching, and specifically a little cross town at Patrick Henry?
Honestly, it's all I knew. I saw my dad. He was my coach from when I was like 8 or 9 years old all the way up until my teammates who were 2 years older than me aged out. Then I went to play with Boo, and then he was a high school coach for a long time. And so that's just what I knew I wanted to do. And then just being, pointed as the point guard, the general, the floor, the coach on the floor, different things like that. I really had to know not just my position, but my teammates' position so that I could facilitate and say, hey, you're in the wrong spot, we're running this, go over there, and different things like that. So I just really stepped into that role, I guess, naturally.
I love that. And you're so right. I always see the point, always. The point guard and pointing. You're on the wrong spot. You're on the wrong spot. No, that's amazing. And coaching high schoolers, I always give it up to our coaches. I don't know how y'all do it because high schoolers are all kinds. We were in high school. You feel all the feelings. You do all the things. You're growing. I mean, it's crazy. What do you think is your favorite aspect for non-basketball watchers? Your favorite aspect of the girls' high school basketball game that should catch the eye of people?
The feistiness. I feel like girls basketball is really feisty.
Yes.
It's if you get that defender that's gonna get up in your face, and you got that player that has a chip on their shoulder, you're gonna see a little shoulder, a little elbow, a little bump, something like that. That's gonna make the game a little bit more exciting. Of course, it's gonna draw those people in, but along as of course the referees kind of keep it contained. But I like to see the feist. I like to see the attitudes and the passion on the court. That's one of my favorite parts about it, because I had attitude on the court.
I was gonna say, I don't know if anybody went to the games back in the day. Of course, I was a little nerd in the crow's nest on my camera already. But anyway, no, don't do that.
I love it. I love it.
But I had a close and personal view of your battles, epic battles, especially with William Fleming. I'm talking about going at it. Physical, just as physical, if not more physical than the boys.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about that feistiness, you had it. You brought it every single game. I think that was the most compelling part about watching you do what you do on the court. I was like, man, there is no let up. There's no let up in her game. And like you said, that's all you knew. So you got to do that. So makes it work.
And attest to the girls that I played with at William Fleming. I grew up with a lot of those girls. Like, we went to elementary school together, and just, in passing at the fair, at the mall, at the boys' games, different things like that. And they were ballers too. And, I always look forward to those type of rivals. Even though I went to Salem, Salem and Fleming weren't even rivals really, but it was a rival for me, and especially those girls that I played against, because it was so personable. We talk about ourselves to this day. We love playing against each other. It was great.
I want to know why, and we asked Bill Pope, the Northside boys basketball coach, this question, and it seems even more impossible in the girls. Why no shot clock? What's your take on the shot clock? How do you feel about that? And do you guys still kind of run plays with time in mind to kind of simulate as if there was one?
Sure. I like the shot clock. I wouldn't necessarily say have it at the same amount of time that the college game is at, just because the high school game is a little bit slower, but implement maybe a 35-second shot clock or something like that, just to pick up the game and take out that stalling portion, because that's where you lose your fans. That's where you lose your, your momentum. So, I like the idea of the shot clock. I adjusted very well to it in college, and then also being able to learn that if you run your plays with efficiency and urgency, then you're going to not have a problem with the shot clock anyway. So, we try to get our girls to go at a fast pace. I think we should, make them go a little bit faster. Because why not push yourself, push yourself so that you can actually do things the way you're going to do them in the game kind of situation. But I would say shot clock.
Yeah. I would say shot clock too. Sometimes some of those games at the high school level, I'm like, y'all are just going to hold the ball up at the top of the key and just wait.
Yeah.
Wait for something to come open. Oh my goodness. It does add a bit of urgency, but like you said, if you run your plays with urgency to begin with, no issues at all. Yeah.
Is there an aspect of the boys game that you haven't seen translated to the girls game quite yet at the high school level? Like, for example, I think of the Euro step and how it's almost revolutionizing the game even at that young age. Is that coming over to the girls game too, or is there a different some kind of aspect that's coming over as well?
I think that the athletic ability with the men's game is just so different. Of course, we have those outliers and those standouts that are in the women's game that can do some of the things that the men do, but the athletic ability with the men is so much different than the women's game, that the women do actually have to sit down and focus on the fundamentals. And I think that's also where it could potentially hurt the boys' game, because they know that, I can just blow by this person. They don't necessarily have to be in triple threat and square up or whatever. So I think that the game is different in those ways for that reason. definitely with the fundamentals on the women's side and the athletic ability. I don't want to discredit that because the game has evolved so much and so many more women are, able to touch rim and able to dunk. So I don't want to discredit that. But the men's game, I mean, you can be 5 foot, touch backboard easily, different things like that. So I definitely think that the men's game is definitely more athletic, which is one of the reasons why I think having men's practice players for a women's game is extremely important. Because once you go against those boys and, or men, whatever age group you're at, like, and you're able to stop them from penetrating middle or whatever, then you're going to be that much quicker to cut that person off one middle in the game against another female.
And that makes sense, which is why I believe it was at Virginia Tech preseason. I saw like part of their scout team is just guys, and I'm like, oh man, that's 5-on-5. They get into it.
Yeah,
this guy, on the UCLA practice squad, he was posting all the shots that he's made during, I guess, practice, and people were like, "But UCLA's number one," and they're like, "Well, most of the time the boys are beating the girls in the practice, the game simulation, but it does make you better because the physicality of it."
Oh yeah, I mean, my practice squad at Wake was all boys. Intramural boys or boys that tried to walk on the team and didn't make it or different things like that.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, just regular non-student athletes that played in high school. If they see you at club and, you're decent, they're going to ask you to come play just because it does push you and it adds that extra level of this isn't my teammate. Your teammate might, I'm not going to bump you so hard because you my girl or whatever. But, that dude, he going to blow by you real quick and you got to get an extra stop. Like, it makes it, it takes it to another level.
Yeah. And, speaking of physicality for the men, for the women and girls, I feel like it's finesse. A lot of you have to be really smart about where you're moving the ball, and you don't see a lot of players go inside very often in high school because it's a little hard to get inside and get in the post and get a shot up. What is your coaching philosophy when it comes to that? I mean, as a point, I know you probably want to work it from outside a little bit, but how do you kind of approach that aspect of the game when it's not a recruiting situation where you can go and pick up a 6'2" center forward to get inside and move the ball?
Well, I mean, you got to play to your strengths. If your strengths lie in your guard play, then you got to be able to execute being up and down the court quick, get into your secondaries quick, get into your half-court offenses quick, be able to set down screens, back screens, the whole thing, make the bigs work. But if you have a big that's dominant, beat the big. I mean, you got to go to who's hot, and then if the big's not hot, then she's got to be able to kick it out. I mean, there's just so many aspects to the game that you have to be able to adjust with what you're given. And as a coach, if you're able to say, like, okay, I lost those 3 players last year, let me see what I can do this year to see where the strengths lie in my team.
How, I guess, more difficult, or maybe it's not, would you say coaching high school with that in mind of you're constantly turning players over and being a college player and kind of seeing what your coaches had to, not deal with is the wrong word, but, utilize?
I think it's a little bit of the same kind of situation. Granted, in college, you get to kind of pick who you want. I mean, hopefully they commit to you just as much as you want them to commit. But in high school, you get the pickings of what you have coming up. And I think it's really important to have kind of like a pipeline for high school. Like, you got to be able to go down to the middle schools and say, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to, see what your team is about. Because if you guys can run this play and it comes up through the JV and it comes up through the varsity, then you're that much ahead in the preseason to get to running your half court stuff if they already know your secondary, your press break or whatever. But I definitely think that generational kind of pipeline where you're feeding it up is ideal for high school. College, it can change so much, especially with the transfer portal.
Right. Well, I mean, now compared to when you were in college, so different. It is almost like high school where you have somebody in 1 year and then the money's calling, time to go somewhere else. So, difficult on both ends for sure. But I like the pipeline idea for sure.
Are you at the high school level on the girls' side? Are you guys having to remember plays, or is it more or less where they should be on the court? How do you divvy that up or decide? All right, we'll give them this versus that.
So the game plan that we have this year is we have a lot of plays,
nice.
Just to kind of put them in the positions that they can be in to score. I would like to see a little bit more of the girls owning that as their position and being able to implement more of them being able to play as a cohesion. I think that we have that in spurts, but if we can get everybody to be able to, like, if somebody penetrates, somebody's feeling behind them kind of thing. So I do think if we had a little bit more cohesion, we would be a little bit better with that. But we definitely have set plays for them to kind of run and do, just for the sake of getting them into the positions to be successful.
Yeah, I talked with coaches recently, and they were saying, coaches that have coached both boys and girls, and they were saying, man, the girls are so detail oriented that sometimes the big picture doesn't come until like end of the season.
Yes.
Like, and then versus the boys, they can see everything by the end of a game. But on that girl side, they're gonna get it. Once they got it, it sticks. Yeah. You seen that come to fruition?
Yeah, I do. I mean, just going back to my 2013 year, I mean, we had not set plays as much as we had offenses where we do the actions out of it. So we know we had 2-man game on one side, or we know we had 3-man game on one side, or a slice cut through the middle. I know I'm speaking a lot of terminology, but
no, you're good. You got it. Okay. No, you got it flowing. I mean, go ahead now.
You know, so I mean, I think that it's important to be able to play to your team's strengths again, because my team in 2013. We had a lot to where I could create for a lot of my teammates, and I can get downhill and I can dump off to my bigs, or I could kick out to my shooters. And so having set plays that kind of structured me would have not been as successful as if, you know, how my coach kind of handled us with being able to let us play out of our sets, but not necessarily structured plays.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I always wondered that too in high school and in college, like the balance when you're a coach between calling a play and then the team not running it, or it's just not, because it's different when you have the ball in your hands and you're trying to make something work. How is that for you when you know, coach calls something and you're watching it unfold completely different, or like you said, do you kind of like that your team is able to flow and work with what they're seeing on defense, or you know, vice versa when they're running offense?
Well, I think it depends on just about like how many times have we done it, I guess. Like if we've come down and I called a play or coach has called a play and it's been a bust and we haven't created anything out of it, and we do that 2 times down, 3 times down, I'm like, all right now, like, get it together, you know, run the play that we called, you know, because we got to get something going. But if we come down and we're able to beat somebody in transition, or we're able to, you know, just score, then I'm not going to stop the play from progressing. And I tell even the girls that I train, I'm going to explain it this way, but if you don't get it, don't stop the play. You're going to have to continue to play in the game. So if I teach you this way and you have to do it a completely opposite way, continue the drill. Don't stop the drill. We have to continue in score. That's the goal. But ultimately, like, if this is the play, do the play. But if you're going to score, you better score.
Okay. That's a good balance. That's what I was gonna say. Was, are you ever mad if something doesn't come to fruition but the basket's scored? Like,
no, you got to sit back and say, all right. You better. I'm happy you made that. You got to just take that one to the chin.
Yeah, I realize that it's a lot of times seeing the action and seeing the play out can bring just as much joy as like a basket being scored. Like, I think it may have been the Fleming game and Coach Cook was like, we going inside. Like, what we do? Why we settling for the shot? Give it to her. Give it to her. But seeing that play out real time, I'm like, oh, okay, there's that element. Like, let's get to it.
Yeah,
like,
that's the game plan.
Yeah. Don't shy away from it. So no, it all makes sense. And again, as we've often talked about, just the rise in talent over the years, especially in our area.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's just been great to see. From the smallest of counties to right here in the Star City. Everybody's having to share. I love to see it.
What do you think makes girls basketball and women's basketball so fun? And also, why do you think people are just now catching on to why it's so fun?
Now, the game has evolved. It absolutely has evolved. And I think that there's always been that core group of fans that have really appreciated and loved and respected women's basketball. But I also think that this new social media era of fans is also great, too, because it's given us what it's given us now compared to, I mean, I had a YouTube highlight tape. It wasn't like a real, you know, I mean, it was fun because that's what it was for. But I think this new era of social media has drawn drawn in so many more fans of different ages, old, young, in between. And I mean, I love it. I'm here for it. I wish it wasn't so negative sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be different. It's not the men's game, it's the women's game. So take it at eye level of women's game. Not to discredit us, because like I said, I love the game. But definitely just being able to say, like, okay, that was a good game. It's more fundamental than it is athletic. And so take it at face value kind of thing.
But that's my favorite part about it. Like, honestly, I'm low-key a little upset when I have to go to a college up the road to the men's game, because I'm like, the women's game is just so, in my opinion, so much more fun to watch for that reason. The fundamentals, the detail-oriented aspect of it. I mean, I just love the catch and shoot three. I love anyone who can shoot from the perimeter. And Virginia Tech women last year, they had the dual threat of, they had the shooter in Georgia Amore and push it inside to Kitley. I mean, it's just so much more fun, in my opinion, to watch. But I see what you mean about social media has probably had a lot to do with more people watching. But it's just crazy, as like a basketball fan all my life, and you played it, like, it's just crazy to think now people are waking up. Like, come on.
Yeah, we've been here. Right. Happy y'all are here now, but we've been here.
Right. I mean, it's just, it's wild, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anything, it's great. At least now, better than never, that people are coming around.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
I know on the boys' side, a lot of the game is transitioning to like positionless basketball. Like almost everybody can be a point.
Yeah.
On the girls' side, are we getting to that point as well at this age, at the high school level? Or I know for you guys, it looks like you got a true center, because obviously she got the height, she got the body, right? Yeah. But other girls' teams, perhaps you guys are facing or going against, have you seen kind of that shift as well in terms of the positionless players going away there?
I would say that it's probably trickling down. It's coming down more and so from the college level, just because you got your center that's going to shoot the three. You got your center that's going to be able to bring the ball up the court. And, I mean, that's just one of the things that I've preached and been told for a long time. Like, I mean, I started off as a post. Like, I learned all my post moves first. I had a bigger structure. I was probably 5'6" at 12, something like that. I was a bigger kid. I'm 5'8", topped out at eighth grade.
My shot would have got blocked again.
It's all good. But just being able to realize that height doesn't necessarily put you in a box anymore, or even size, structure, anything. So I mean, you have that post player. I mean, the post at Blacksburg, she's gonna shoot three. I had to tell Layla, you gotta come up. She's gonna shoot it on you. Like, come up here.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I just think that the game has evolved, and I think it's going to continue to evolve, and I think it is going to eventually be that way, because there's so many resources for players to be better.
Yeah.
And so being in that box of just being a center, or being in that box of just being a wing or a point guard, has kind of faded into the distance, because so many players are good and getting better, to where anybody can play anything. Any mismatch can be exposed.
Which is crazy. Every time Karis Baker at Virginia Tech pulls up from the three, I'm like, golly. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I feel like Kitley did it maybe 3 times. Right. But still, it's like... Wow, these 6'3", 6'4" girls, shooting the three, and they make it every time. You're only gonna pull up when you know you're gonna make it. When you know you're gonna make it. Well, let's talk a little bit about your team, Patrick Henry, how the season's going. I was looking at the calendar the other day. I'm like, we got like a month left.
It flew by,
and then we're heading into the postseason. It really has flown by. What has gone right for you guys? What has kind of been a learning adjustment for you, and what can we expect to see from you guys as the season continues?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, we know what our core is. It's the pulling it out of them and getting them to play at their best ability. We had a couple hiccups over the last couple weeks where we didn't have all of our players sick or out or whatever, but just playing as that unit, playing as a fist instead of as a hand, to be most effective. So if we have our players step up and do their job the way they're supposed to do their job, and just play hard and just next play, I think that we'll have a lot of success in continuing the rest of this season.
I love what you said, playing as a fist and not a hand. That's awesome. That's so real, though. I mean, yeah. And everybody has been sick. Everybody's been going through the same struggle. So no one can say, woe is me. Everyone is sick right now. Playing in Class 5, that is a tough basketball class. First, you're playing in River Ridge District, and then you go to a Class 5 region. And then you go to class. I mean, it's just nuts. How do you kind of prep your girls for that, considering PH is one of the only Class 5 schools? I mean, you have Franklin County down the road, but outside of that, you're playing Class 2, Class 3, Class 4 in preparation for what becomes a really big tournament. Yeah, and it is a big adjustment sometimes too. So I think that Coach Blue does a great job of getting the girls early games that are tough. Yeah. And putting them against some of the best talent early. He usually signs us up for the Cherokee North Carolina tournament, and they go down there and they play against some of the best teams in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and things like that. So just playing on that competition early and seeing where you need to develop is one of those things that are kind of important, because you don't see those things when it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season. And you can see those things week 1, week 2, week 3, and make those adjustments. Yeah.
Yeah, it all comes together. And I was talking with Coach Cook, even like last week, he was talking about being battle tested early, how that can really help you, because then you still gotta not only be ready for those that are in district, but then you got to get right back up. Yeah, because there's a lull there between that tournament and then when you'll see that kind of competition yet again. For sure. Other than Fleming or someone else of that caliber, but no, we love the effort y'all are putting out there, and hopefully we'll be seeing y'all in the coming weeks and such. Yeah. So we get through districts and all of that. We get you out of here on a little trivia though. We try to test.
Get her.
I don't think I can get a pass over here.
I don't have the trivia.
I'm just ask me the question.
She's like, who got it?
Eric's got it over there.
Okay. All right. So we'll start out with a college one. Your alma mater. Do you know who holds the record for the most points in a single season at Wake Forest?
For women or
for women? Oh no, it's all about the ladies now.
DFA.
Oh, nice. All right, you got it.
That's my teammate, girl.
You know how many? No,
I don't.
No, okay.
I don't know how many.
683 in a single season.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's.
What year was that? Was that a point? Was it me?
I believe. I had to look it back up. I believe that was your freshman year. Though.
Okay.
I think it was like the 13, 14 your freshman year, or was it 12, 13?
13, 14 was my freshman year.
I think that was her freshman year.
Yeah, we had a squad that year.
Yeah.
I wish we would have, put a little bit more out there and posted. But it's all good. We put it together late, so we was a little tired. It's all good.
Hey, you gotta hit it at the right time.
Yeah, whatever.
This one is high school related. All right, back to Salem. Do you know who is the Spartans' all-time leader in scoring average for career scoring average? Salem Spartans.
Me? For women's?
For the girls, yeah. I'm just going off of what I've been told. I don't have nothing in writing on this.
I don't know.
But
who was texting you this?
Well, this comes up because there's a family connection here. All right? My grandma watches the Salem girls like relentlessly on my dad's side, because my aunt apparently set the record back in the mid-90s.
What's her name?
Michelle Johnson.
Was her name Pee-wee on the plaque? Because I used to look at that plaque like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get above her.
Oh, grandma, watch out. No, so now we call her Shelly. Okay. But she tells me now. She could be wrong by now, because there's been a couple of graces come through since then. By the way, she's got her eye on Gabby right now. So Gabby, watch out. Yeah. But apparently it's my aunt, and I believe she said it's right near. I want to say it's like 22 or something like that for career. Now single season, I think she was like, oh yeah, I think Tay got it. Yeah. I was like, okay, but career. I think it's still her, but hey, we'll check the books and.
It sounds like we gotta ask Drew.
Oh yeah, Drew.
But I don't want to question your grandma either, because
if she beat me, it is okay because I have 400 assists, and the next person.
I was gonna say,
was at 200.
Yeah,
so it's all good.
Ain't nobody taking
the
that
points
one,
came up
400 assists. What's the second place?
Like 200. I had double.
Oh,
listen, when she said she was a facilitator, she was a facilitator. Yeah. Like everybody on the court.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Can you imagine if they kept points for assists, kind of like they do in hockey.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, it'd be over.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, well over 2,000. I don't think I have any more unless you got a surprise one for her. No.
Who had their jersey retired in January
It was
at
me.
Salem High School?
Yay!
Yay! That was an easy one. That was the easy one. We got Aisha Shepard from Virginia Tech on one like that. That was like a wild statistic. And she was like, was it me? I'm like, here, let me put that in there for you. Come on.
That's great.
Come on. Yeah, no, but we're the same age. We just didn't know each other in high school. But I think about when I hear about your game and then I think about Lord Botetourt, I'm like, man, you guys probably laid the smackdown.
No, Botetourt was a good rivalry for us too.
Really?
You gotta think, Salem, I had a bunch of teammates that I was like, these are my girls. I love them to death, but their main sports were volleyball or soccer or different things like that.
Yeah.
So I had some defenders behind me, and that's what we kind of emphasized on. But Botetourt, we kind of rock and roll with Botetourt, Franklin County, Fleming. You know,
I mean, Botetourt's always been good at girls basketball,
Very
but when I
fundamental.
was in high school, I just don't remember them being particularly state championship material at the time. Obviously, they've gone to the title game a few times since I graduated, but yeah, I loved all the trivia Eric gave me about your game before I went to the jersey retirement. I was like, how have I never heard of her? This is crazy.
I'm like, you gotta see. Like,
Yeah.
pull up the tapes. Like,
I know.
I got the state game. I haven't even watched it yet.
Really?
I need to watch it.
You've
Wow.
never watched
I haven't gone back and watched it. I'm not ready.
And then,
Really?
like, you hit, like, I think 22 in that one. Like,
22 3. Wait,
No, just
22
22
points. That's still
in the state final,
crazy.
in the Crazy Lights in the Siegel Center, all of that. You
Who
know,
did y'all
so-
play in that state championship?
Cortland
I think it was Cortland.
because we lost to them the year before.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Salem was class 4 that year, right? There was no.
Yeah, that was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I can't remember because
pretty sure,
it was a
yeah.
long time ago.
And
No, I'm
everything
pretty sure
has
that was class
restructured
4.
as well
Changed.
since we've been in high school. But
yeah,
Wow.
which is why the William Fleming battles were like
yes,
that
oh
much
yeah,
more fierce. 'Cause
more
Fleming was
evenly
4 and-
matched.
yeah. No, there was some. This area. Great girls basketball now, but like especially that era. Oh my goodness, yeah, the Franklin County games and like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was a scene.
They
You had
were
to be
rocking.
there.
That's
We loved it.
awesome. I love that because honestly, when I went to the Salem PH game for your jersey retirement, I was like, I don't think I've seen this many fans. Like when I was in high
Yeah.
school, this just did not exist. Like
Yeah.
people who were there early and not even just there, clapping, cheering,
Yeah.
yelling at the refs. Like I was just kind of like, man, I
Yeah.
saw that at an LB girls game recently too, and I was like, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, our student section was lit. Shout out to class of 2013. I love y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You had all of your classmates
Yeah.
there. That was awesome. That was such a fun night.
Yeah, it was
I
great.
can't believe you haven't watched the state title game though.
I gotta go back and watch it.
That might be a good around the way.
Yeah,
You
that's pretty
guys
dope.
do a little film breakdown.
Ooh.
That's pretty
Yeah.
dope. Yeah,
That
that's
would
might
be
be nice.
fun.
Yeah.
I would probably cry. I always cry with stuff like that. I cry at just about every state championship. If I have like an inkling of connection, I'm like, oh, I can't believe they did it. Yeah, so I am not an unbiased journalist, but that's okay.
That's all right. Yeah.
But Tay, we appreciate you so
Yes,
much.
no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was
Yeah.
so educational and enlightening, and I just
yeah.
loved getting your perspective.
Yeah, thank y'all for having
Yeah,
me.
fresh out of practice too. Like,
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I have one more question. What do you feel like is if somebody wants to come watch Patrick Henry girls, why they should come and what makes it a fun sport to watch?
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, we got a good group. We got a good group of girls. I mean, they work hard. They try to do what we tell them to do. They're really a good group. So if you come out, just come and cheer us on. Put your threes in the air. We got a couple shooters on the
There we
squad.
go.
So just come out and have fun.
Awesome, cool. Thank you so much, Tay. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
No problem. Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing interview. And she is so nice.
Yeah,
Literally so nice.
super nice. A great motivator of people, but in particular young ladies nowadays. In what she's doing as an assistant coach, and I mean, anybody that just wants to just YouTube her real quick, just go ahead and check out what she did. She was pretty cool.
Oh,
She did her thing.
I literally, that's exactly what I'm going to do when I get back to my desk, because I can kind of picture it the way you guys described how she would play, but Yeah, that's awesome. And
Just cool.
I said it was a thankless job, which probably wasn't the right thing to say because there are many players who look back on impactful coaches, but thankless in the way of you devote so much of your time.
Oh, yeah.
And for the monetary return, which is like essentially time is money.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. And to do that and give back to your community after, she gave her community so much as a high schooler and then moving on to play in the ACC, like that is just such a kind and selfless thing to do.
Yeah, and then too, like you mentioned, graduating in 3 years.
No, that's nuts.
At Wake, like, it's just unbelievable.
That's
it's
nuts.
Just unbelievable to think about. Like, wow, to know she still had like eligibility left and like, just now good, and that's what you call just comfortable. Like, you did everything you could, you accomplished what you wanted, and you still come out on the other end of that thing. That's that's nothing greater than that.
No,
awesome.
That was great. She was awesome, and I saw Patrick Henry play a couple weeks ago, and they're, as advertised, like you said, they got the big on the inside, they got shooters. They're good. I just feel for PH and Fleming and Franklin County too. Like, you play these class 2 and class 3 teams and 4, and then you go to the tournament and like, you just don't have the experience playing up. You play your whole season playing down, and it's just tough.
Yeah, which is why, as she mentioned, those tournaments are so important. Those in-season tournaments, you get the holiday tournaments, and people are sometimes like, why don't they stay around here and play? And now you know why. Like, they have to go elsewhere to see teams of that same competitive nature. And I know, honestly, if they probably could, Fleming and PH would probably play each other like half the season, like
I
worth
feel like
of games,
they do
just to
already.
just to like get that connection against each other, just so they know how to play up. But kudos to Tay Taylor, those programs, both Patrick Henry and of course William Fleming as well. Those two bigger schools in the area. So, but no, she's incredible track record. And now she's developing an incredible track record as a coach. So,
I know. That's so nice. And then I told her about how I would probably cry if I watched that state championship game.
Which was so surprising. She hasn't watched it yet.
That's actually crazy because I watched every musical I was in high school like multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, it's a similar comparison, but yeah. But no, there's a couple. Hey, listen. At least you had the musicals to look back. What am I gonna look back at? Like,
I know what you're gonna look back at. It's in the William Fleming high school basketball gym.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's a big picture on the wall. It's 4 foot by 6 feet, and Eric is in it.
Wait, that's what the dimensions.
It's huge. The picture is huge. They blew that thing up, and you were in it, and it's so cute. I love it. You're just like posing. You just get in there like. You weren't even smiling either. You were smizing.
I had a smirk.
No, you were smizing. Yeah, that's smizing.
This isn't about me, ladies and gentlemen.
You were getting the smirk with the eyes.
Okay. This is about Tay Taylor and women's basketball.
Well, now
Eric
it's
Johnson.
about you.
No, we don't need to hear about this. No, we don't need to hear about me.
I think a great around the way, which I told her when I walked her to her car, was y'all sitting down watching that state championship game, and then you guys run a couple plays from it.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Come on now. Pick and roll. I hit the 3. She dish it to me.
Oh, no, I meant like you guard her.
That's cute. We don't need to see
roll.
that.
No. I mean, you guys go one-on-one.
We don't want to see that.
I think it would be fun.
Really?
Okay, how about 2-on-1? How about me and you? Me played no basketball experience. We could. Gosh, I used to hate doing that with Reagan when I would try to guard her in college and pretend to play defense. This was loosely. This was like fun time. This was not real.
I wouldn't want to challenge her. She's coaching, which means she's still actively playing basketball in practice. That wouldn't.
I thought you still played at the park.
How many seasons ago was that? No, I'm just kidding. No, we got a little baby now. Like, I don't have time to I don't even have time to go to the gym. So I don't even know if I'm strong enough to bounce a basketball right now.
You should bring Onyx.
Why? So she can see Dad get embarrassed?
Aw, no. Cuckoo gaga. She's so cute.
Oh, yeah. No,
I love her.
No, I wouldn't want her to see that. Like, got to see Dad in a better light. All right, not. getting
Well, her dad's on TV, so that's actually about as good of a light as you could be. I'd say you're a pretty good role model, Eric. You are quite simply on television.
I don't know about that.
It starts there.
I'm trying. So, you know, whatever. Enough of me. Come on. We got to get this thing back on track.
Okay, let's get it back on track. What do we have going on in the next 2 weeks?
The illustrious First and 10 Trophy Tours continue.
Oh, yes.
Check us out on 10 Sports 6 and 11 and online, because those are where the full presentations are for the digital aspect of things.
Yes. Yay.
And yeah, more hoops actually. More hoops coming up.
I know.
Right?
It's nonstop.
ACC tournaments are kind of around the corner. Hopefully both or all the teams that we cover will be in it, because there's only the top 15 to go this year. So,
yeah, there's going to be some teams that aren't going to make the cut. Yeah. Virginia Tech women and UVA women should definitely be in, though.
Should. Yeah, absolutely. They got a little stretch around the basketball lap. So wait and see what the men's side looks like this year. But
Liberty might be the team.
Liberty looks good. If they can just stay steady in Conference USA play, I think they'll be okay. So Coach Richie, 260 now?
Yeah,
program
he's the
wins?
winningest coach in Liberty University
that's legit.
history.
That's legit.
I know. We need to go see him. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Oh, I know. I feel like he probably thinks I don't even work in the market anymore.
Oh, no, he knows. He watches.
I have not been able to be over there literally probably since you started with us here.
Because I went all the time.
Because you always went, right? I've never even stepped foot in a new arena.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is the nicest basketball arena ever.
The last time I was over there was the last year of Vines.
Wow.
Yeah.
The worst part about that arena is they tell the media to park in the garage that's under the highway, so you have to walk through the tunnel.
Ooh,
of course I do not do that. I pull up and I go, I'm just running in really quick, and I illegally park in front of the business whatever building.
That's gonna be out of the mix now.
No. Please, Richie.
He's not in charge of it. So.
Please don't.
Rhino people, whoever in charge.
They should, kind of like UVA, let you pull around the back. Like, they should let you pull around the back at Liberty.
Should.
But what do I know? Yeah, no, I try my best. But yeah, Liberty's going to be good. Radford men.
Yeah, Radford men. I like the way they play.
Oh, and the Roanoke men, they lost on Saturday. I went all the way over there.
But
they got beat.
No, but the ODAC, that's one of the teams to expect in ODAC. And Roanoke could come out of that. Like, if you look at the standings, like the top five are all
they're all
one
tied,
or two loss. Yeah, so there's a big separation in the ODAC this year on the men's side. And I mean, hey, you get a seed where, I don't know, 4 seed or 5 seed, but you just knock everybody out until you get to the final. Never say never.
Where is the ODAC tournament? Is that Salem this year?
Yeah, the illustrious Salem Civic Center,
as always. At Salem?
Yeah. New this year. Quarterfinals rounds are held at the higher seeds.
Oh, fun.
So, semis and then championship.
That'll give me something to do on a Tuesday.
But yeah, it should be a good time. I really like what Roanoke has got. So, hopefully they come through.
I can't even concentrate because I'm just thinking about eggs.
Huevitos, yeah.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of eggs lately.
Hey,
soft scramble.
I'm down with scramble. I can do that.
Soft. Have you had a soft scramble?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it's still kind of mushy.
Oh yeah. That's the best way to do it.
God, I can't even talk about it right now.
Throw a little lemon pepper in there.
Eggs, yes, yeah, that's
just
crazy.
Just a little bit. If you don't have salt and pepper, throw a little lemon pepper in.
Lemon pepper.
Yeah.
Lemon pepper wet, lemon pepper buffalo, cheetah wings, PKs, Blacksburg. I'm so hungry.
Food. Sounds like we need to go.
What time is it?
Oh, it's too late.
9:20.
Wow, it's kind of late. Time for showtime almost.
And you still have to eat too. I'm going home, but you have to get food.
I got food.
Oh, who is that for?
It's me.
Bring that up here.
What is that? Oh, what are you talking about? That's mine.
That's a pre-made basket? Oh, that's your badge. Oh my gosh, I've been staring at that thinking it was like a pre-made basket for the new employee with like chips and candy and stuff in it.
Shout out to Cheez-Its. No. This is just whatever miscellaneous items are on the back of this cart.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, our next episode is going to air in 2 weeks, right around Valentine's Day.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. So.
I have been thinking about it.
Oh, I bet.
I love Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we know.
I've actually never had a Valentine.
Okay.
That's not true. In my adult life.
It's time to wrap things.
But you know what? I always sing this song around Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine, my Valentine, my Valentine? Will you be my Valentine? 'Cause I'm in love with you. And then whoever your Valentine is sings it back, but usually it's just, I'm looking at the woman in the mirror.
Okay.
Singing it to myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to eat something. I'm literally going crazy.
Well,
okay.
in the words of T-Pain, hearts get broken worse on Saturdays.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there you go.
We'll have a new episode in 2 weeks, and we'll tell you who it is when it drops. All right. Peace, love, and harmony. See y'all next time.
Deuces.